Hi guys, I wanted to make a quick video about the hands-on I had with the Nikon Z mirrorless camera. I had a chance to see it on Friday, and I went to about an hour away from here to check it out. So first impressions are pretty cool. It first thing you'll notice is it handles really well. Okay, it feels incredible in the hand. Compared to my A7R3, it's just better than that. Like, better. Okay? It's better. By a lot. Like, I wanted to leave Sony and get the Nikon. But no. They had to put one card slot, so I can't. Which is probably a blessing. Because realistically, I don't want to switch systems. And they don't have enough lenses at this point, so there'd be no point. Also, the eye autofocus and certain things on Sony is still awesome and worth keeping and not worth leaving for. So but anyway, one thing I did notice is the autofocus seems really good. I tested it. I took my A7R3 to check it out with it to do some side-by-side, and autofocus seemed to be pretty on par with my A7R3. One thing I'll say is it kind of takes a while to change the autofocus point. If you have it set to single point. So that's one thing you got to keep an eye on. It takes a lot longer than changing it on my Sony, in my opinion. The other thing is the EVF blackout is definitely worse than my Sony. However, I don't think that's personally a huge deal, at least not for me. It might be for you. What else did I come to the conclusion of? Oh, that it's actually pretty awesome. But again, limited lens selection. If you're a Nikon user though, and you can get along with a one card slot, I would definitely consider it, because it's pretty awesome. The EVF seems really comparable to the Sony A7R3 that I had, or that I have. It's just so hard to tell the difference between the EVFs now. They're all so good. Like, they're all like 3.6 million dots and just ridiculous. So, that to me isn't a big deal. Oh yeah, the stabilization. I did test that out, and it's actually really quite good. I was very impressed with it. I bet it's actually just a little bit better than my Sony. It's hard to say though. But the fact that I handheld the 35mm 1.8, I shot it at 1.8, and I shot it with the Z7, which is almost 46 megapixels, and I was able to handhold it at like 1/8 of a second and get a very sharp result. I probably could have done it a little bit lower, but that was about as low as I could go for me, just regularly shooting it. So it's pretty good. The Sonys, I always think they kind of BS you on the whole, oh, we can do like 5.5 steps. I don't know if I believe that personally. But again, it does help me in situations with my Sony that I normally wouldn't be able to handhold very well. Because again, I like to go to museums, and it's just hard to take a tripod to all of them, because not only just the amount of people that are there, but the time it takes to set up and then frame the shot. And let's face it, some shots you can't necessarily frame with a tripod. Especially like I shoot dinosaurs, and like I want to shoot really low angles, and somewhere I'm like holding the camera up high or at a certain height where it would just be hard to set up a tripod, and you can get closer without the tripod or without a tripod. So to me, that stabilization is super important to me, where you want to try to keep the ISO as low as possible, and a slower shutter speed helps you do that in most situations. And also the fact that you'll find that the a lot of exhibits are in lower light, so it super helps having the shutter, or the IBIS in that. So guys, this is just a quick hands-on impressions, or hands-on first impressions, we'll call it that, with the Z7. I'm actually probably going to rent this camera because I think it looks pretty awesome, and I really want to try it out just for fun. And so I don't know if it'll be right when it comes out that I'll check it out, but I will be renting it at some point for fun to test against my A7R3. And I'll be doing more in-depth stuff that I'll probably make shorter videos on, but like certain things like EVF, if I notice certain things about it, like for instance if there's any lag, things like that. I didn't notice any lag with it, but I really don't think you're gonna with these newer cameras. Honestly, it's just these cameras are so good with their EVFs now, it's absurd. It's not like it used to be. And like the last mediocre EVF in my opinion was like the A6000, and since then they've been pretty good. If you're getting a higher end camera that's mirrorless, you're probably getting a really good EVF. I've had a chance to try out Panasonic's G9, that's insane. I've seen the Leica SL, that's insane. There's so many good EVFs, guys. Like, it's just, to me, the whole argument of EVF versus optical, I mean, yeah, you can prefer optical, but to me, the EVF isn't gonna be a deciding factor in letting you down, if ever. For instance, I was at a train stop one time, or a railroad track stop, and the train was about to go by, and I had my XT1, and that's only a refresh rate of the 60 hertz or whatever, which is supposed to be terrible. I waited till that thing came in frame in the viewfinder, took one shot, nailed it. So saying that these refresh rates aren't good enough, I'm not buying it. To me, it's fine, it's good enough. You'll be able to hit the shot if you're a good enough photographer, in my opinion, regardless of the refresh rate, but most of them are 120 hertz now, and that to me is plenty. I usually keep my A7R3 on that. You also find that the blackout's less nowadays, even though the Nikon seem to be pretty not that great in that area, to be honest with you. But like I said, I don't think that's a real huge deal in most cases. Maybe for some people it is, and if that's an issue, then you'll have to figure that out for yourself. But again, that was just my first hands-on impressions. I love the grip. I love everything about that, the way it handles. It handles better than any other mirrorless camera that I've used in terms of the way you use the aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. I just like it better than all the rest. That includes my Fujifilms, my Panasonics, my Sonys. I've used just about everything, guys. So thank you for watching. If you've actually watched this, have a good one. Bye.